Well. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Write Your Narrative, a weekly podcast where we are discussing everything street art related happening in South Florida. I'm your host, Pascal D. from Talking of the Wall. This week, my guest is Tyler, aka Tab Toonz. He's a self-taught digital cartoonist and author born in Miami. I met him and his parents 2 years ago at the Museum of Graffiti in Wynwood, where he's taking art classes taught by local and international graffiti artists. He's without a doubt my youngest guest at 12 years old. John, his father, will be joining us in the podcast and we'll be talking about providing a supportive environment and celebrating Tyler's efforts to value his artistic process. We are at the Museum of Graffiti with my next guest, who's a 12-year-old little genius, little
Thanks.
beautiful artist, someone growing. So, Tyler, welcome to the podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for inviting me.
You're very welcome. So, if you want to introduce yourself to our listeners, your name is?
Tyler Bennett, aka Tab Toonz. The name Tab Toonz actually comes from my initials, Tyler Anthony Bennett.
Oh, good, because I was going to ask you the questions. Good.
Sorry, I probably should.
No, it's okay. All right. So what is your, if you want to describe to the listeners your style of work, what do you actually do? It's mostly cartoonist.
Well, most of my work is inspired by, Peanuts, the comic strips, because that's what I grew up watching and reading.
So, but you do a lot of work with the iPad, a lot of digital work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mostly use Procreate for most of my art.
Procreate, all right. And we're here, like I said, at the Museum of Graffiti today because you took a class. So pretty much every Sunday you come here to the museum to learn about the different art techniques. So what is your experience here at the Museum of Graffiti?
Okay, so at least every month they switch artists, and because of that, I pretty much become friends with all of the artists, in rotation.
Great. So everybody is bringing something new to the art that you discover every month?
Yeah, they pretty much inspire whatever art I've been doing that month.
So like today, you were with Miss Lushy, who's a good friend of mine that I know her for a little more than 10 years. So what have you done today? What was the class about today?
Well, Miss Lushy printed out some skateboards, and we were supposed to color on those skateboards. And then she surprised us all by bringing little miniature toy skateboards. And she got some Posca markers, which I'm very accustomed to using.
Okay.
And we had to draw on the skateboards.
All right. Is that something, you know a little bit about the skateboard culture? This is something very, very big in the street art, in the graffiti movement. So we actually have some skateboard right in front of you here at the museum. So a lot of artists actually painted or drew on a skateboard. Is that something that eventually you'd like to do on a real skateboard? Have you done it?
Well, me and my dad attempted to. He actually bought me this big skateboard for Christmas, and it was blank. And we've been planning to get some spray paint together and, color on the skateboard, maybe some characters, some letters, the whole shebang.
The whole shebang. All right. Talking about characters, this is something that you have created. Some of your characters, this is something that you are known for, like Junior and Lily. Who are they?
Okay, so Junior and Lily are cat and dog siblings. I know it doesn't make sense genetically, but hey, it's a cartoon.
It's a cartoon, yes. You got to create something fun.
Okay, so they're fraternal twins, because, they don't look like each other because they're different species, but they're still the same age. And I kind of noticed that how in a lot of cartoons, it's kind of a trope for siblings to fight, like, literally like cats and dogs.
Oh, that is very true.
So I decided to make a cat and dog siblings, but they don't really fight all the time. Because they have this special bond, where they understand each other. And, even though the complete opposites, like Lily is kind of a tomboy. She likes skateboarding, she likes sports, any type of sport she's pretty much in on. And Junior is kind of the opposite, he likes reading. He likes doing science stuff. And even though they don't get along, they kind of appreciate each other's differences. That helps them get along.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So everything that you've created, all those different characters, that you said that they're based on cartoons, on things that you see on TV. What is your favorite TV show?
My favorite TV show, probably a cross between The Simpsons and, let's say, Rocky and Bullwinkle, because, they're really funny.
They're really funny.
Yeah, it's kind of an inspiration for some of my jokes that go into the cartoons.
Yes, because you create also your own kind of a storyline with it's not just a cartoon, you create a story. So that Junior and Lily turned out to be actually a coloring book. You wrote a little story, and this is something that your family, your parents have printed for you as a coloring book.
Yeah, huge shout out to them. They're big. They're a big help with me. Yeah,
I'm sure. I'm sure. Good shout out to mom and dad. Of course. Well, that's the whole thing. We're going to be talking to your dad a little bit later on in the podcast. I mean, this is absolutely, to me, incredible what your parents are doing. I mean, you could be, maybe they were into sports and they would have pushed you into sports or into different things, but then apparently you had, and obviously now I know you have some abilities to do some art and street art and graffiti. Maybe have you, between all these characters that you're doing, are you doing some graffiti too?
Because we actually have a big, like, a wall in the backyard. Well, it's kind of a miniature wall, but at least every month or so, me and my dad go out there and, spray paint.
Oh, this was one of my next question. Have you painted your first mural, your first graffiti mural? So you have, obviously. All right. But it's not something public yet. It's just in your backyard, something like a practice wall.
Yeah, it's still growing.
Yeah, a lot of artists actually have their own kind of backyard and wall where they practice and everything. So do you think you're going to be ready soon to do your first mural?
Probably. I hope so.
Probably, yes. Are we going to have to find you a wall here? Oh, so many people anyway in Wynwood.
Yeah, it's kind of like my second home.
It's like a second home. Yes, you spend a lot of time with your parents here, which is absolutely wonderful. So I'm sure that neighborhood, whenever you walk into the neighborhood or you drive with your parents, you see different murals. You are inspired by them. The colors, maybe. What do you think inspires you the most? Is that the color? Is that the... do you pay attention sometimes to the writing on the wall or to the texture or to different things?
Well, I mostly pay attention to the letters and sometimes the characters, because every graffiti artist has their own style. Some focus more on their letters, some focus more on their characters.
And it's something that now you get accustomed to, so you recognize some of the artists. Of course, you know some of the artists, but you recognize their work now?
Well, I've been coming here since at least 2021.
But you've done a lot. Just coming to Wynwood, you've been part of different charity, different fundraiser. Like for the past 2 years, we worked together with Art Cares for Kids when I asked you for you to do some Christmas ornaments for us. And this was something new to paint and to draw on Christmas ornaments. You've done something with the hip hop, the 50th anniversary of the hip hop also. So how do you feel about all those different experiences that you are doing?
I mean, they really shaped me, like they're a huge eye opener to me. Yeah, they kind of help me, talk to a crowd more, like when I do presentations at school or so, I use my experiences from that to help me.
So talking about the Museum of Graffitis, we are in a room here that you're very accustomed to?
Yeah, Shirt King Fade, otherwise known as my Uncle Fade, because, we're just that close. Like, one of my favorite parts about him is, his art, because he draws a lot of characters, and I recognize every single one of them, because I'm really into vintage cartoons like, say, Muppet Babies, or Tom and Jerry, or Richie Rich, or the Jetsons.
Yes, so these are great stuff that I do remember very well. So, what else you want to tell me?
Well, let me see. There's my relationship with Icy. Well, they're kind of like a brand of champion. IC stands for Inspire Creative Youth, which is, I'm youth.
Yes, definitely. At 12, yes.
So I definitely relate to their message. So I help them out a lot. Like, we've collaborated to work on a hoodie. And, I have those hoodies and, their bucket hats and everything. It's been a relationship going since at least 2022.
And you are also working, you work with the hip hop 50th anniversary. You did something this past Art Basel with them?
Yeah, I remixed the hip hop logo done by the OG Cool Herc.
OGs, yes. So this was a great experience, and you probably got to meet so many artists here. I mean, museum is definitely a place to be.
I met several artists and, singers, which are their own brand of artists, like Dapper Dan. I even met the mayor of New York, everything.
Right. Yes, well, you have a pretty extensive already bio that your dad gave me, that you say that you've been to Los Angeles, to New York, Atlanta. When you go to different places than Miami, you usually try to meet some people, take some classes, or look at the art scene in all those different places?
Oh yeah, I do. Like when we went to Atlanta, we went to the Beltline, where a bunch of graffiti artists go to, draw their characters or draw their letters. And I had drawn one of my characters, Junior. He's probably one of the most characters I've drawn. Yeah, he's one of my favorites because I really relate to him. I mean, I love Lily too. I love them equally. Like they're my daughter and son.
Already? Wow. Such a powerful words, daughter and son. Yeah, that's pretty cool. You also do something with the annual toy drive, and you do that with the Top Dog Entertainment?
Oh yeah, I did. So that coloring book I did back in 2022? Yes. Well, one of the people from IC, she's actually a big part of IC, Auntie Maritza. She asked me if I could remix my coloring book, but to give it a festive Christmas aesthetic. And I even remixed one of the pages where, Junior and Lily are standing there with cool poses and shades. And I added Top Dog there because I gave him some shades. And I thought he was a very cool character, so that's why I gave him the shades in the first place. And the whole gimmick of the book was that they were going to the Top Dog Christmas Drive event.
All right. So definitely you're very, very involved. And I mean, thank you to your parents for taking you to all these cool places and doing so many things.
Yeah, I'm just lucky to have parents who care,
Well, all children have parents who care, but usually most parents push their children into sports, which is usually the common things. This is our role as parents to nurture that art, that thing that you want to push your kids into. This could be music. You have to see as a parent the abilities they have, and then we'll get into this. So you've definitely very lucky to have the parents to push you into the art. But how did you come to decide that you like the art so much? Is that something that you were doing at home, drawing all the time?
Well, my origin story actually, remember when I mentioned I like vintage cartoons like Woody Woodpecker and Tom and Jerry? Well, every 5 seconds I would ask my dad, hey, can I get a toy? And he said, no, those toys are vintage and they're too expensive. So anyway, I came up with the idea to, have him draw the characters and for me to cut them out and basically play with them as if they were toys. And every 5 seconds I was like, hey Dad, can you draw Woody Woodpecker? Hey Dad, can you draw Tom and Jerry? Hey Dad, hey Dad, hey Dad. So eventually he said, hey man, you have to figure out how to do some things on your own. I was kind of sad at this, because I wasn't really accustomed to drawing cartoon characters on my own. And then I looked up a picture of how to draw Woody Woodpecker. And, he's one of my inspirations because he's one of the first characters I managed to draw on my own. That and Popeye.
And Popeye too? All right, well, those are definitely OGs.
So I realized I had this gift, I could replicate cartoon characters, their eyes exactly right. So then I kept on doing the thing where I would cut them out, play with them, I make up my own stories about them.
Good. So you're making stories too. Not only you are drawing, but you are kind of creating stories in your mind, and then you're writing some baubles.
I think I was the only preschooler in my school that knew Bugs Bunny.
Anyway, this is absolutely incredible. Thank you so much, Tyler, for your time. I cannot be more proud of you, definitely. I mean, this is really, really nice. Don't go too far now. We're going to have a little chat with your dad, and just stick around, all right?
Okay. Well, thanks, Pascal.
You're very welcome. So now I got John, I got Tyler's dad on the mic. Well, John, thank you so much for being with us, and thank you so much for bringing Tyler to this art and everything. So are you an artist yourself?
I drew at Tyler's age and through teenage years, early 20s, and then, life.
Yes.
You start living your life.
Yes. Well, yes. Life happens, yes.
Some stuff to the side, but once he started drawing, it inspired me, so we do a lot of work together. I have a t-shirt company, so we put a lot of his stuff together on t-shirts,
yes.
And he gets to see different parts of art. It's not only what you draw, but, how you configure stuff and graphic designing. The more he gets to learn about.
Of course, there's so many different aspects into art.
And to your conversation earlier with Tyler, when you were saying, what do you get inspired by driving around? So we'll look at billboards, and I was like, hey, somebody's behind that being there. That's there for a reason. The colors they pick, where they put it. It's just so he can learn different parts of everything involved with art.
Oh, the art, yes, definitely. So something that to me is very crucial is what you are doing, the work that you're doing as a parent. like bringing your art, nurturing the art with the children to, I mean, we know it is a proven fact, the benefits that the kids have from learning and from being exposed to the art.
Definitely.
So yeah, so that's something that you are doing. So how do you feel about it? I mean, this is...
So Tyler's the last one. We have two older kids, Jordan, which works here at the Museum of Graffiti. Nothing art related with her. She's more what we're doing now, podcasts, videos, photography. So that's a whole different element. Our oldest son was sports, like you were mentioning earlier. So, you know, Monday through Friday, we're at football practice. Saturday, we're at the game.
Oh, yeah.
With Tyler, it's different, but the same.
Yeah.
We draw every day. He has a thing called Draw Daily, you know, that he learned from another artist named Junk Linez. He's a tattoo artist.
Okay.
And he actually introduced us to the Museum of Graffiti.
All right.
So if Tyler is not drawing daily, he's writing a story or writing for his cartoons. So he writes as much as he draws. Oh, good stories. He has books and books of stories.
Yeah, this is really our job as a parents to kind of push the kids into sports, like you say, if they have any abilities or something. Art, it's pretty common, but street art, it's not as common as just art or fine art. Usually parents don't push it too much.
No,
I don't know that many parents.
A lot of parents don't, you know, force their kids, not force, but push their kids to write on walls.
We have to force them sometimes
to write on walls. And, you know, it's weird when we go into Montana or somewhere to buy the...
Yeah.
Well, now they recognize Tyler, but at first, when they find out it's for him, they're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you know, whatever.
Oh, it's not for your dad, it's for you.
It's for him.
12, but how young are you? How old are you? Yes.
And, you know, now, you know, thanks to the dedication that Tyler has, we come to the Museum of Graffiti every Sunday going on 3 years. You know,
wow, that's pretty cool.
He's made friends throughout the community, such as yourself.
Yes.
Just organically.
Totally organically, I think. Yes.
People are drawn to him because his dedication to his craft, and, you know, he loves to show his artwork, can talk about art for hours.
And he definitely has a talent. Don't be afraid to say it because it's really obvious.
Well, I was having a conversation at the event last night. People were blown away, and I'm like, I see it every day, and I'm still, you know, blown away by his art. His pieces are taking him longer. He used to go from a daily piece, and now a piece can take him 3 or 4 days because of the amount of details that he's putting into it. What you were talking about earlier, once we recognized it was more than just something that he loved, there was, you know, passion. Family got involved, and, you know, Tyler's name is trademarked. He has 14 original characters that are copywritten that he owns. Wow. The rights to. You know, it inspires other artists, older artists, when they see him, they're like, wow, you know, my stuff, adults, they're like, my stuff is not trademark. Anybody can take it, and, you know, and in this world,
yeah,
it's very...
Oh, in this world, yes, you gotta protect yourself. Yes, that's absolutely an amazing stuff. Definitely amazing. Well, thank you so much, John. Now I'm gonna go back to Tyler because I have a question for him, and this is our famous quote of the day. I mean, one of the things that I like to do with the podcast, and something I used to do with all the interviews that I've done before, is just to present you with an art quote and to let you see or give us your impression or something that you are, or how do you think about this art quote? So maybe you want to read it for our listeners and then comment on it.
The quote says, "The artist is nothing without the grit, but the grit is nothing without the work."
So what do you think about this?
Well, I think it means that when you have a dream, you have to work for it, you know? Yeah, I mean, even when you have easy street, you still have to go through the traffic, you know?
Oh, yes, that's very, very well.
Yeah, you know, you have to work for your, you know, like my dad always told me, dreams demand real hustle, you know? Because you have to work for what you want, you know? World is not going to give you what you want, just lickety-split, you know?
Exactly. And actually, your dad has a tattoo about it. That's definitely something, so it's very meaningful. I think I got a good art quote for you.
Yeah, you know, dreams demand work. They demand dedication, you know? You have to work for it. I know I keep saying that, but, you know, everyone has to learn that you can't just have what you want, the lickety-split, like I already said. You know, you have to go through the motions, you know, you have to show that you're willing to do whatever it takes to accomplish your dreams. Otherwise, they're not dreams.
Definitely. And in your case, you have a talent, but without learning so many different things, your talent is not going to go anywhere. You know, if you think about all the big singers or things like this, they still have a vocal coach, and they could be the most known artists, but they still have a vocal coach because this is their voice is their tool. So if they don't practice this, they just don't get as successful as they are. So in your case, in the art, taking as many classes as you can, going to as many places as you can with your parents, it's something really, really incredible. But on your side, you have to do the work. And when you wake up in the morning, well, it's maybe not easy every morning to get up, but you still got to do it. And I'm sure you're very dedicated to it.
Yeah, you can't complain, you just do it. It's got to be done,
All right, the job has to be done. Okay, we're going to finish with those words of wisdom. Oh, you got something else to say?
Yeah, one more quote. This one's from me.
Oh, okay.
If you want the check, you have to cash it.
Yeah.
Is that good?
Exactly. Well, you really finished with some words of wisdom. Thank you so much, Tyler, for being on the podcast. I mean, this is something special. You are my youngest guest, and I'm sure for a while you will be the youngest one I will have on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting with you again. I still want to do the ornament thing this year.
Yes. This is going to be the 8 years that we're going to be doing that Christmas ornament show. This is a fundraiser that I started way back when, 8 years ago. So definitely you'll be part of this too. And then you might be doing some sneakers also that you were part of the sneakers at Grails this past year.
Oh, yeah, that was. Me and my dad were nights on that, Like I said, dreams demand hustle. I wanted the sneaker. I had to tie the laces,
Exactly. All right. Thank you so much, Tyler. All right. I'm going to put all your social media on the podcast and on the caption for the people to follow you, because they really need to know you and follow you and see your art. I mean, this is absolutely incredible. Thank you very much again.
Thanks. God bless my family, your family, and the graffiti family.
Have a great day. Bye-bye, Tyler. Thank you again.
Peace.
Peace out. Thank you for listening to Write Your Narrative. Please follow me and subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform. Next week, I will be talking to a Miami artist who's also an art teacher. He recently created a nonprofit art foundation and a school mural project, raising awareness for the visual arts and building a culture that makes attending school exciting. Have a great week, and we'll see you then.